What does the phrase, sit with it, mean to you?
What if I told you that there's more to it? That there are benefits and resources from heaven that are available to help you in this life, and you've never heard about them? Are you curious? Well, join Gordon Merrill as he digs deeper into making heaven real in this life.
Welcome back to Making Heaven Real. A very popular catchphrase these days is, sit with it. What does that mean to you? Well, quick Google search provided a couple possible renditions of what that should mean. One says to pause and intentionally allow yourself to feel an emotion, consider a thought, both of which is rather than rushing in to fix it, avoid it, or react to it. Another says it's an invitation to embrace discomfort, gain awareness, and process difficult feelings like anxiety or grief without or instead of suppressing them. Another is kind of a quote, and it says, let's not try to fix this right now. Let's just sit with it and process what happened. When I first started dating my wife, it was interesting because it was interesting for a lot of reasons, but she was a completely different kind of woman and was a very special woman in spirit and soul. Before I met her, I'd had several different careers that were very time-oriented, and everything had to be a decision that was split second, and in some cases, you had to have a fix almost immediately when something went wrong, whether it was, broadcasting and radio or paramedic and taking care of somebody ill at the house or any of those kind of things, including aviation. Certain decisions needed to be made quickly and in a timely manner and come up with a fix for an issue almost immediately. So when I first started getting close to her, she would come to me every once in a while with a situation that may have happened at work or something as with a personal relationship with somebody. Started telling me about it, and before long I was trying to fix it. And finally she told me, she goes, look, I really don't want you to fix anything. I just want you to hear me. In other words, just sit with it or sit with me. Remember where we said earlier that it's to embrace something difficult and process difficult feelings like grief? Well, let's compare that statement to the statement that was just made by my wife. She had a very interesting circumstance that was traumatic to her. That was the situation being discussed. Similarly, those going through grief have had a very traumatic situation by the sudden devastating loss. When we're looking at it from a grief standpoint, people who are grieving don't want you to tell them what to do or fix it, just like she said. You don't really need to talk to them, partly because they may not understand you or hear you or remember it, but at the same time, there's too much going on in their mind, and they don't really want you to talk. They just want you to hear them. And finally, they don't want to feel abandoned. They want you to sit with them. Be there. Be that shoulder and that rock to rely on. So just like she said, I really don't want you to fix it. I just want you to hear me. Similarly, somebody going through grief doesn't want you to fix anything. Just want you to listen and sit with them. So think back on your initial grief journey, or actually what you can remember of your initial grief journey. You didn't want people talking to you. You didn't want people barking orders at you. You just wanted them to be around and to listen. So if humans are slowly starting to figure out those 4 things about going through grief, what makes you think God and heavenly equity doesn't already know that and understand that? Not only that, but your STC knows you implicitly. I will go so far as to say you have never, ever, ever been alone. You're not alone now. You've never been alone any time you have been on Earth. We talked about looking at our life's plan and our adventures on Earth in order to learn, grow, and mature as similar to a college degree. The life you're living right now is A class in that degree program. But your STC has been with you through the entire degree program, through every class, through every lifetime. They know what you need probably more than you do. So like we've talked about in the last couple episodes most recently, not only was the STC there to help you immediately in an emergency go-round, to reapply and reamend your life's plan in order to keep you progressing through the class, but they also know your life plan. They know what you need. I've talked several times about following them and letting them lead you through the day. If they know all of this information, they know more than you do, so let them lead. Gave you an example, I think, a while back. I'm not sure, but it was a Black Friday, the day right after Thanksgiving, I think in 2024. Suddenly I had an issue where I needed to get certain items of clothing to be ready for a Christmas party. And to do that, I needed a white shirt to go under a dark forest green sweater. Long story behind that. We don't have time to get there, but that's what I needed. And I'm thinking about this as I'm going from one place to another on the road, and all of a sudden, my wife tells me, turn here and go to this store. And I'm immediately fighting back because it's the day after Thanksgiving, and we had talked to each other before she passed long ago that this one street with all these stores and a big shopping mall is disaster from Thanksgiving to New Year's. We made it a point to never go that way. What she's saying, go to this store. So, somewhat hesitantly, I follow the direction. I go to that store. When I pull into the parking lot, I am surprised to find the closest parking space to the door is waiting on me. I go into the store through one of the doors that I know is closest to the men's department, and as I go through the door, immediately in front of me is the men's department, and immediately in front of me are 2 tables that are closeout materials. One table has the white shirt I need in exactly my size, which is one of 3 left. The next table has the forest green sweater that I need in my size, the exact color I need, which is one of 2 left. I pick those up, go to the checkout, and go back to my car, all in less than 10 minutes on Black Friday. STC leading and guiding and directing is real. You can count on it. But don't just take my word for it. We have a very close friend who is also a medium, and I've talked about her a couple times on this program already. She told me a couple weeks ago that my wife prompted her while she was out in the car to turn here and go to this particular store and see what they have. So she did. When she gets to the store, she finds out that they are having a big clearance sale that she didn't know about. And when she walked in, she was starting to say, well, I really don't have, and she was interrupted by my wife who said, you just keep going over there. Just go look. And when she got to that general area, she said, okay, turn over this way. And when she turned and looked, there was a huge rack of 70% off items. She's getting ready to take a vacation this year and take a trip, and she was thinking in the back of her mind that she needed some new clothes in order to do this. The thinking in the back of her mind brought this to the surface, brought my wife to her attention, going, turn here, go here, walk down this aisle, turn to the right. There's the table that has what you need. Just like telling me to go to a store on Black Friday and walk in a certain door and find exactly what I need, which was about all that was left in that store. Your STC knows you. Your STC knows what your needs are. They know what your plan is. They know how to get you to meet that plan, and they will occasionally tell you to divert from what you had planned. Our medium friend had no intention of going to this store, had no intention on that particular day of going clothes shopping, but she was redirected and told to go there. My trip on Black Friday, I certainly had no intention of going down that road, at least not until after New Year's, but I was told to divert and go, and exactly what I needed was right there. Now, for those of you who are skeptical and not sure that this makes any sense, number one, this particular case with Laura is a case that is not mine. It's something that happened to somebody else, and you can verify it. She gave me permission to use this story on this episode. And if you're not sure that I'm telling the truth or I'm making this all up, you can contact her online. She's known as Angel Reader Laura. So if you're concerned, send her a message. But she will verify the same thing I'm telling you right here. Not only did she work with me to send me to a store to find the last of what I needed, but she also did the same thing for our friend Laura in a completely different state, working with her to help her get what she needs before her vacation. Your STC knows you. Your STC has all this information available to help you. So not only do you need to sit with those who are grieving, but when's the last time you put down all your screens, all the things that make noise around you, all the distractions around you, and just focus on your STC? When's the last time you just sat with your STC? Allowed them to talk to you, to guide you, to bring you through the day. When was the last time you got up in the morning and said hello to your STC and welcomed them into your day and asked them to guide you through the day? You know, just like we talked about a griever, whether it's family, friend, coworker, a griever that you come across would really probably enjoy you using what you have learned in your grief toolkit. But at the same time, their number one thing is they don't want to be abandoned by everybody just because they're grieving. If you take the time to sit with them, linger, love them just like Christ loves everybody, and listen, you'll be surprised what that does. So when you linger and sit with the griever that you know, you're basically bringing heaven to them. And in that, you are definitely making heaven real in their life.
We hope you learned something new about God's love and His resources during our time together. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss out. You can find our social media links and our contact info in the show notes. When you're commenting, please reference the episode number. Join us next time as we again search out the ways of making heaven real in this life with Gordon Merrill.